Safeguarding practice in the nursery was poor. The report found that the Ofsted inspection framework for early years is not adequate to safeguard children. The Ofsted inspection framework makes no contact with local services, such as early years, to gather intelligence. The review identified that the nursery was not owned by an individual or group of individuals, neither was it a registered charity. The nursery was identified as a not-for-profit, unincorporated organisation which had 4 trustees. The report has identified lack of governance and accountability in the nursery and confusion about the roles and responsibilities of the trustees. Ofsted are responsible for the regulation of early years settings. In this case, the early years service had concerns about the management of the nursery, but due to the separation between these two services, Ofsted were unaware of the concerns. These concerns were not related to safeguarding at that point. The review therefore found that the communication pathway between Ofsted and the early years service was not sufficiently flexible to allow information sharing which could inform the judgment about the nursery. In addition to this, where the nursery was recognised to be failing, the Ofsted inspection process did not ensure compliance in achieving and maintaining improvement. Some of the findings of the review are at variance with the findings of the Ofsted inspections of the nursery. Through staff interviews and discussions with parents, as well as a review of the records, it is apparent that Little Ted's was not able consistently to provide a safe, positive environment for the children in its care. This would indicate that either the individual inspections were not rigorous enough or the framework for inspection is not adequate. Vanessa George used her mobile phone to take and transmit indecent images of children. There is no evidence that Vanessa George had a sexual interest in children prior to her beginning a relationship with Blanchard via a social networking site. While stopping staff using their own mobiles within the setting is an important preventive measure, this alone will not prevent abuse. The review identified that there were a number of factors which came together to support a culture within the nursery where abuse was possible. The lessons identified in this review may make abuse less likely in the future. All those working in early years settings, including those tasked with support or regulation, must be mindful of the need for organisations to ensure a robust safeguarding environment, and these are identified in the review. The early years service maintain consistent input into the nursery to help support the improvement for the outcomes for children. They have a role to challenge and support daycare settings. They have no regulatory powers. If it has concern about a nursery setting's ability to improve or maintain the standards, the service can only refer to Ofsted if there is a breach of compliance with statutory regulations. The review also highlights the lack of understanding within the nursery regarding sexual abusers. Despite concerns amongst staff and evidence of Vanessa George's increasing sexual behaviour and language, staff felt unable to challenge when they felt uncomfortable. Her overt sexualised behaviour and language were not recognised as a potential safeguarding issue within the nursery. The review therefore identified the need for staff to undertake appropriate child protection training to enable them to recognise potential signs of abuse and to be confident in responding to staff members' behaviour. The report has recognised the positive impact partnership working and the implementation of effective family support strategy in situations of multiple abuse. Agencies from both the statutory and voluntary sector work together to support the families, and I'd like to thank all those involved in providing that support.